If you're detailing white paint, this is the video for you.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. We're going to show you a way to make your white paint sparkle, glow, and shine and shimmer.
Ivan, we talked about car washing, car detailing, and white paint, is it any different than any other paint?
No, it's the same paint, but at the same time, white has a few little issues that we see differently than on other colored paints. And one is that it loses its luster, loses its shine, and part of that is because of iron contamination. And I just sprayed a bit of our iron remover there, and that's not how we teach to use it, by spraying it willy-nilly everywhere. But if we look up close, in the few seconds that we've done this, we have red tracers everywhere.
Depending on who you ask, I mean, this looks a little purple to me, but the idea is it's a colored tracer. It says something about what is already on this paint.
And we can see just how quickly it is there. And if I spray another spray, you'll see how it's moving and how it's agitating. Now, that's one way to do it, but it's not the most effective and efficient way, and that's what we're here to teach you today.
I love effective and efficient. I also like fun, Ivan. Can we weave it all together today?
Grab the foam cannon, off you go.
All right. You can always use rinseless wash.
Yeah.
But I asked for some fun, Ivan, and that's why we have foam.
Fun you're gonna have.
So, would we ever do all clean on the wheels and tires first, or do you want to just foam it on?
We can foam a bit of all clean. The wheels and tires are actually remarkably clean on this vehicle. But a bit of all clean never hurt.
I'm a man of principle, and I want my wheels and tires cleaned as well as the paint, Ivan. And we always do all clean diluted 15:1 in our IK foamer. All clean comes in a concentrate. Just buy it in the gallon, folks. The 16-ounce bottle is great. It comes ready to use. It's kind of a teaser, right? You're just getting into all clean. You're figuring out, hey, do I want to use this brand or not? It works great. But if you get it in the concentrate, you mix it yourself. And if you put it in a foamer that way, Ivan, I just think it cleans so much better.
Yeah, and this car has been through an episode of dirty rain here in Omaha. So there's rain and mud everywhere. The cowl, under the spoiler especially. It went through a normal rain afterwards, but not enough to clean it off. So we're gonna really brighten it up, and with the foam, it's gonna help carry that dirt away.
Before you ask who makes up the foam cannon, the answer is
not
yes.
me. Nick, I wanted to show you something with a foam cannon.
I'm guessing I missed a spot, if I know Ivan.
Under the spoiler.
Yep.
Now, you could have gone the way you're going and tried to get it under there, but the foam cannon does this. So we can actually turn the direction.
Oh, I always go vertical.
So now we have a horizontal, and then I can get it in there without getting it everywhere in the shop.
The master of efficiency, some call you.
Something like that.
Ivan, we make it look so easy, the foam cannon in the DIY Detail studio/garage. For folks out there who see this and they want to make this happen, is it easy? Is it hard? What do they overthink? What can they just plug and play?
Very easy. There's nothing difficult about this. And do you need a pressure washer? No. You can actually get a foam lance that goes onto your regular garden hose. It's not going to create shaving cream thick foam like this, but it's all you need. So you don't need to buy a pressure washer.
And the foam rinse foam principles would still apply.
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
We're always trying new things for everyone here. And one of the things we're trying is this multi-tip tip. So it's got 25 degrees, 0 degrees, 15, 40, 65, and even a shower nozzle. But my favorite is the 25. Now you can see in the foam on the floor, all that nice red from just those couple sprays I did here. You see what's coming down there. So it is a very active formula. One question for you guys. Is this vehicle quirky or cool? We had a discussion with one of our staff members earlier. One was saying quirky, the other was saying cool. Which do you think this is?
One of the truths about using Incredible Suds is it's more fun than rinseless wash, in my opinion. You get all the foam, and that really is fun. But you're dealing with more cleanup. You're gonna be squeegeeing more. There's a lot more water on the floor, Ivan.
Yeah, there sure is.
Which probably goes back to your famous, if you're a professional detailer, stick with rinseless because it's more efficient and you're gonna save time. If you're an at-home hobbyist, enthusiast, if you're a big fan of the F word, which is fun, foam away, right?
Yeah. Now, Nick used a good 3/4 of this to do the pre-foam. I'm gonna open it up a little bit and use a little less than Nick did. That way we can use what's in here and don't have to mix anymore.
Ivan, does it matter how thick the foam is on this second foam? And does it matter how thoroughly you do it? I guess if we're teaching the foam rinse foam method for safe car washing, what should I know about the first foam? What should I know about the second foam?
The first foam is doing the heavy lifting. The second foam is to provide lubrication for the wash mitt. So you don't need a thick, heavy foam at this point.
You don't like wet feet, Ivan.
No, I don't.
I'm taking care of you. I appreciate you foaming the car. I'll take care of the floors.
I don't think anybody likes wet feet, Nick. Unless you're surfing, maybe. We're not surfing, and we shouldn't be surfing on foam. Next step, cleaning the body and the wheels. Now, I'm gonna start with the wheels on this side. I don't know what Nick is up to on the other side.
I'll do the wheels with you. I wanted to know, are we gonna use iron remover at all? It works so well on wheels.
You can if you want. I don't see the need on these ones.
How about crouching over? You're on this little rolling stool that I think I want to use too. I've done a lot of crouching in my day.
Yeah.
Any advice for folks when they're cleaning wheels? They probably think they're young, nothing hurts, but old age will creep up on them.
It will creep up on you. Now, if you're healthy and you're doing squats on a regular basis, doing squats while you're doing wheels is actually a good thing.
When you clean the wheel, do you like to do the face or do the barrels first?
I always start with the face. The reason for that, there could be grit in the barrels that I bring back out to the face, and I don't want that grit being rubbed into the face while I'm brushing the face. So I brush the face first, then I do the barrels.
Face and then tire and then barrel, or tire at the end?
I start with the tire.
Start with the tire, got it.
But it doesn't really matter. As long as you're doing the face and the tire before you do the barrels, you're good.
Tell me about this Tampico brush we're using. I've heard a lot of feedback on it from people who, they criticize maybe the appearance before using it.
Yeah, it's old school, admittedly. It looks old. It feels old, but it works wonderfully. And that is why you have a brush like this, is to have it work. And unlike some of the nylon brushes that are out there, when you pull it out, you don't end up wearing everything that was inside the barrel. In one dunk, rinse is clean. Now, ready for the contact wash. Unlike the Legacy sponge where we wring it out and have it just on the verge of dripping, the mitt, we want it nice, sloppy, and wet. I'm gonna do the upper portion first, get that out of the way, and then work my way around the vehicle.
Now, one thing I see you often do, you put the pressure washer in your bucket of suds to get that foam volcano.
Yeah.
Is that just for looks or is there a utility there?
That's 100% for you guys.
Again, there's nothing wrong with looks and doing it for fun. If that makes you have more fun,
yes.
Last time I checked, I keep telling you that's what I want to do. This morning I said, let's have fun today, Ivan.
Yeah.
Because that's why you're probably watching this channel. It's like, how can I learn how to do this better? You probably enjoy it, right? Detailing is a passion-driven industry.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, do you skip the front bumper till the end when we do the foam rinse foam method? I know when I'm doing a pure rinseless wash, the lowers are always washed last because of the dirt that's there. I don't want to bring it back on the paint. Does that really apply when you're doing foam rinse foam?
Yeah, it does. I like to let the insects dwell as long as possible.
So it's not a lowers thing, it's a front bumper thing because of the insects?
Yeah.
Got it. If you're doing a no hose wash, what changes there in terms of your philosophy on where do I go first?
Use the rinseless wash, not suds, and although you can do it with suds, but it's a lot of work. Use a rinseless wash, and yes, In that case, start at the uppers and work your way around the vehicle at the top, then work your way around the vehicle, around the bottom, and ending with that front bumper again.
So in both situations, you end with the front bumper.
Yeah, and I'm looking at my mitt. I went underneath where it was all gungy here. I also did the cowl, and every time I look at my mitt, it's still clean. That is the beauty of the foam rinse foam.
Have we really elaborated on the foam rinse foam? I've mentioned it a few times, but I haven't heard the Ivan encyclopedic sort of, answer to satisfy the curious minds.
So to answer the engineers in the crowd, basically what we're doing is we're putting the first layer of Incredible Suds on the surface, letting it emulsify the dirt and break it down, then rinsing it away. And that takes the grit away. And no, we don't use a special pre-foam and a special acidic foam and caustic foam. That's really not necessary. When you have something with the active surfactants of Incredible Suds, you don't need to do multi-pH washes. That's great marketing, and that is fulfilling the need of the overthinking detailer.
Hypothetically, the chemistry works, you just don't think it's necessary to achieve excellent results.
Oh, it works for sure, but it's really 100% not needed. And most of the people doing that are people that wash their car on a regular basis anyways. And you only need caustic or high pH or low pH products when you're really neglecting the vehicle. And thankfully, most of the people watching this don't neglect their vehicle. Nick, we mentioned iron remover in the beginning. That's what I have in my hand now. We had the Incredible Suds on the surface. We didn't rinse it away. I've got iron remover in one hand. I have my perforated synthetic decontamination towel that is soaked in our friend Incredible Suds. One spray on the towel, one spray on the panel, and we match them up and then remove the contamination.
And did you already get the front bumper?
The whole front bumper, yes.
Okay, yep, I did my side. I thought I'd get yours if I didn't. All right, so continue on.
And now, we just gently, with no pressure on the decontamination towel, go over the surface. Once you've done a section, flip your towel, spray. One on one side, one on the panel you're gonna clean, and keep going.
One thing I did is I brought my Incredible Suds wash mitt, and I just dripped it over the surface. I want more lubrication. I want the person out there who may be new to this, err on the side of lubrication.
Yeah.
It's never gonna steer you wrong with the decon towel.
Not at all.
Now, our Incredible Suds and iron remover are designed to work together, so I know we encourage folks not to be the armchair chemist at home, but we've got a whole system here, Ivan.
Right, it's tried, it's tested, it's proven, not only by us, but by thousands of you out there doing this on a regular basis. Speaking of thousands, we have over 56,000 people in our Facebook group, a group dedicated to making detailing enjoyable, making detailing fun, and making it accessible for everyone. There's no such thing as a stupid question in our group.
And if you haven't joined, what are you waiting for? In the description below, there's a link to the DIY Detail private Facebook group.
Yeah.
All we do is we ask you a few very basic questions to make sure you're not a robot. And if you don't answer them, you don't get in. But they're like so basic and easy. We just want to make sure you've read the prompts. We don't want you bowling in there. But you know what we do want? Constructive criticism, helping each other out, like an enthusiasm for detailing that we can all share together. And I think it's a very safe, friendly environment for newbies as well, Evan.
Yeah, and another thing they could do is follow the advice on the front bumper here and subscribe. If you subscribe to this channel, you get to see videos from us 4 times a week. We have 3 videos and a podcast every week here to help everyone out. And we have fun doing it too. And hopefully you have fun watching us.
So Ivan, I'm looking at these orange dots, right? The things that you're gonna see, those tracers come down. You can already see, if I do another one, that purple is really gonna run down. One thing a lot of folks do is they will just spray the entire vehicle down with iron remover and then they will quote unquote clay.
Right.
Why don't we advise that method?
This is one of the most expensive products we sell. And most companies as well, their iron remover is extremely expensive because it is an expensive product. And spraying it willy-nilly over the whole vehicle costs you a lot of money. Plus, this is more effective. What we're doing is actually removing the little piece of iron that caused the rust stain, getting it out of the way, so this only has to deal with the rust stain. It doesn't have to deal with that ball of iron in the way.
And I'm putting no pressure on this, Ivan.
No.
And I'm seeing the results. These orange spots that originally were there are disappearing. Let's say there's a really stubborn one, like right here, or right there.
You let it sit for 5 minutes.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm gonna go over it with no pressure, maybe 10 times. And if it doesn't move, your advice is let it sit.
Let it sit, come back to it.
Yep, and the orange one went away. This one might be contamination. It might be, if it's black, something else.
Yeah, it could be tar, it could be all sorts of things.
Could be a
and
chip
you see
in the
that I
paint,
did this area here, and we have all these tracers coming down.
I love the idea of let it sit for 5 minutes after you've worked it. And then maybe try again.
And the back end of this vehicle is extremely contaminated.
If folks might wonder, right, it's behind wheels and then the back end of a vehicle. Why does the back end get all full of contamination, Ivan?
The aerodynamics of the vehicle cause a turbulence back here and everything just sticks here. If you see an SUV down the road, the sides of it will be perfectly clean and the back is just caked in dirt. That's because they probably live on a dirt road, and that's how the aerodynamics works. And with a flat back like this, that's what happens.
One thing folks may not realize is on white paint, after a proper decon, the paint gets so bright.
Right.
So as we're decontaminating, we're not just removing little specks of contamination to our visual eye and then saying, good job, it's all over.
Yeah.
What are we actually doing to the paint? Why does it get brighter?
Well, by removing that contamination, and one thing we are removing as well is that little layer of rust that's on the surface that we don't see, but it's there. And even if we just sprayed iron remover and rinsed it off, the vehicle would look and seem cleaner.
It was real rough under my towel on this glass for a second, but I'm glad I got that.
Yeah. Now, the whole vehicle, the iron remover has been done to it. Next step, we promised simple, we promised efficient. That's what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna be using quick beads, but first we need to rinse the vehicle. Once it's rinsed, adding a bit of quick beads, rinsing again, and then the cherry on the sundae. We want to keep rinsing until all that suds is gone away. So we'll see sudsing action, and even if you used rinseless wash, the iron remover has a surfactant in it that is going to create sudsing. All rinsed, but I'm not done rinsing.
What's going on?
Quick beads.
Okay.
So
tell me more.
Spraying quick beads on the surface. I don't need a lot. I'll start with the roof and then work my way down.
Detailing can be a little intimidating for folks who are just starting out. There's so many products out there, it's hard to wrap your head around it. So for the uninitiated, why choose quick beads over spray and white product like ceramic gloss or C6 mist, which is one of our amazing products? Why quick beads?
Because I'm going to be using two things, quick beads and ceramic gloss. We wanted the double whammy, the best we could do without a coating. This is it. Now the idea with quick beads is you're not rinsing it off, we're moving it or spreading it using the water. Then from there, on the side, now if you're working out in direct sunlight, you'll do a small section at a time. So a little bit on the surface, like that. Don't forget the wheels. And then from there, I'm gonna flip my gun upside down. And then from the bottom up, spread the quick beads and then rinse it down. That gives me good coverage. And I've applied it, and by rinsing down, I'm not gonna get streaking. Don't forget the mirror. Quick beads by itself provides great protection, great beading as the name suggests, and it's fun to use. But adding ceramic gloss on top just sweetens the deal.
Well, you could just use quick beads, you could just use ceramic gloss, you could have done the water spot remover after the iron remover.
Yeah.
We're giving you something that is plug and play that will work, but are there other variations? Are there other steps in the Choose Your Own Adventure series? There absolutely are.
Yeah.
But you could just follow this and do a great job.
Right.
If you're preparing to polish one day, you might want to actually use water spot remover after the iron remover. But trust us, you don't have to do everything in one wash
Right.
as if it's locked in time forever, right, Ivan?
Yeah, speaking of locked in time, I've got a time limit.
All right. You mentioned locked in time, time limit. What's the worst thing someone can do? I like to stay positive, but
Yeah,
in the real world, folks are gonna do this out in direct sunlight.
right.
And I'm wondering if there were any issues, how could we go back in time, reverse engineer this and say, what's the worst thing you can do with quick beads, and then how can we run it?
Worst thing you can do is this. Put way too much on. That's not a good thing. The next thing is leave it sit there till it dries. Again, not a good thing. Now, if you did do that and you have streaking at the end, very simple solution. Add a little bit of quick beads to a towel, rub it over the surface, dry it, you're fine. For us, we'll be using ceramic gloss after this. That gives us an insurance, but at the same time, doubles up the protection.
So it could reactivate any potential issues. I know we're not gonna have them here, but.
If you are not working in direct sunlight, or it's a nice cool day and you're working on a white car, what you can do is apply quick beads to one side of the vehicle. Nice glancing sprays. And then, using your pressure washer at a 45-degree angle, I'm going to go from one end to the other in one continuous motion. So I spread it up and back and then rinse down just in case there's too much left on the surface.
We do quick beads all the time on wheels. I love to see this demonstration on paint. I don't think we talk about how amazing this is often enough.
Right. Now, quick beads is a fun product to use and it does do an amazing job. It's super slick when you feel it. It's just a wonderful tool to use. But on wheels, it's a must-have.
Ever a situation where you're gonna use quick beads without a hose on a rinseless wash?
Yes, you can actually use it as a clay lube. So with a perforated synthetic decontamination towel, you can use it that way with a rinseless wash and wipe it off. It's going to work. It works almost as good as ceramic gloss, but ceramic gloss is the better choice there. But if quick beads is what you have, use it. Now, some offices have discussions in the morning around the water cooler or the coffee maker. We have discussions around the pressure washer. And today's discussion on the CHR was cool or quirky. Nick, what camp were you in?
My discussion was who the heck buys something like this? But then again, I'm not one to totally judge. I mean, we got a Toyota here, it's reliable. The interior has some cool lights. It just was a different vibe. Like, there's a lot of vehicles for a lot of different folks, Ivan. This is a vibe.
Yeah. And I'm sort of known for driving quirky vehicles, so this one is actually pretty cool.
I could see you driving, actually.
Yeah.
You know, you do drive quirky vehicles. Up until this recent purchase of yours, which we can talk about if you want. But it was very un-Ivan-like. You who have driven the Fiat and the Veloster, and what other quirky vehicles have you driven?
Oh, I've had many, many quirky vehicles.
So what do you think, Ivan, of the CHR?
I think it's a cool little vehicle. You know, it's not something I would own. The CVT, the slight lower power range, not my idea of fun, but nonetheless, a cool looking car. And you know, for a teenager or just someone that wants a nice little commuter car, this would be fun.
You say CVT, I know that because it's a transmission. I believe it's on my Subaru, that's how I know it.
Yeah.
I'm not a deep dive into the engine car guy like you. What does a CVT mean for the uninitiated?
Continually variable transmission.
Does that mean boring to drive?
Different. It means different. It doesn't mean boring. It's just not what we're used to because it's not switching gears. So if you're hard acceleration, It'll pin the engine at 5,000 RPM and keep it there until it reaches the speed it thinks you want to be going at. So instead of hearing it shift from going at 2,000 up to 6,000, back down to 2, up to 6, back down to 2, back up to 6, it just stays at the power peak and stays there.
Got it. Ivan, I know they can't feel this at home.
Right.
But before we do ceramic gloss, I'm going to give you my honest Nick. Oh, that is so...
Yeah, I know.
It's like quick beads. I don't have a hose at home, so I never get to use it like this.
It is a satisfying feel.
Oh.
It feels like you're drying velvet.
Yes, so it really is helping in the drying process,
Yeah.
right? It's making it safer to dry.
Right, but we're gonna amp up the gloss just a little bit more by just a glancing spray of ceramic gloss. You don't need a lot, and then work it in, and bingo.
What do you mean when you say glancing spray?
Well, you can do a direct spray like this. You would do 8 direct sprays on the windshield.
Yeah, that would work great.
Yeah, because that's a Nick move. But for myself, I do a glancing spray, which means as I'm pulling the trigger, I'm moving the sprayer.
Okay, I think I was a little more... So is it higher off the paint?
No, you're just moving along the paint while squeezing the trigger at the same time.
How's that?
Yeah.
I'm learning.
You want to accelerate the process, and you don't want to have a bottle in your hand all the time. Give a couple glancing sprays here and there, and as you're moving the towel around, it will pick up the ceramic gloss, spread it around, and you're gonna have fun.
You've never been a big fan of the spray on the towel. You said that's a waste of product. Can you elaborate there?
To me, very much a waste of product. You don't want the product on your towel, you want it on the paint.
Folks ask us all the time, how long does ceramic gloss or quick beads last? What's the estimated durability, and does it change based on how it's applied or prepped?
The application, the prep, how you drive your vehicle, how often you drive your vehicle, where you park your vehicle, all have incidence on durability. Safely, we can say 3 to 6 months. But some people have gotten over a year out of it, and some people after 2 or 3 months, it's gone. And that comes down to, are you driving it every day? Are you keeping it in a garage, or is it stored outside? Are you on a construction site every day? Are you driving down a gravel road? Those are all things that will impact the durability of any sealant, be it quick bead, ceramic gloss, or anybody else's for that matter.
Well, and so you mentioned all those things, and that's going to send certain people's brains going down the rabbit hole in a tizzy.
Yeah.
How can you encourage them to just stay calm, have fun, and not overthink it, given all those variables you just suggested?
Well, it's so easy to apply and inexpensive that if it's not beading anymore, just apply it again. Don't overthink it.
Why am I tempted to do 2 sprays per panel, even though you say 1, Ivan?
Because that's your method of operation normally.
But I can't fully cover an entire panel with 1 glancing spray.
No, you don't need to cover the panel. The towel is doing it for you.
So the towel will move it around for me after I've touched the spot I've sprayed.
Exactly.
So that's the mentality, not like I have to get the whole glancing spray and like in one stroke somehow get the entire panel before it stops spraying.
Correct.
As much as Ivan wants to chastise me for these thoughts, I know you have them at home too, and it doesn't make you a bad person. You're trying to be efficient and save product, but you're trying to figure out how Ivan does it. I think I was too far away from the panel and half of it ended up in mist in the air.
That's possible, judging by the smell.
All right,
it does smell beautiful though.
What? No, the smell is actually the best. If you haven't smelled ceramic gloss or felt quick beads, both are an experience that you're gonna wanna enjoy once in your life at least. And hopefully many more times.
For drying, I like to use compressed air. You can use a leaf blower, you can use all sorts of different things. I like to use a small towel and compressed air, if you have it available to you, to get in all the cracks and crevices, including the pesky mirrors.
Boy, this rear hatch wants to drip forever, doesn't it, Ivan?
It sure does. Nick, it's bright, it's white, and it's a lot glossier and slicker than it was when it came in here. It's decontaminated, so it's ready to go.
And now that there's tire shine on there, I'd say it's looking amazing.
Exactly. Speaking of looking amazing, is there another video they should be watching?
Yeah, because polishing will make it look even better, and you might want to know how to do that. Maybe you've done it, maybe you haven't. I promise you, if you watch this video, you're going to learn at least something, probably many things, about how to polish paint.